China's move to enforce the movement control order to curb the spread of COVID-19 has had a massive impact on economic activity. But how big of an impact? Malaysia's gross domestic product for the second quarter is down by negative 17.1% compared to the same period last year. This is the first time quarterly GDP change is in the negative territory since Q3 2009, which was at negative 1.1%. Bank Negara said on a quarter-on-quarter seasonally adjusted basis, the economy contracted by 16.5%. According to Reuters, this is the worst slump since the Asia financial crisis, which saw the GDP shrink by 11.2% in Q4 1998. Meanwhile, the central bank predicted that Malaysia's economic growth will be between negative 3.5% and negative 5.5% for 2020. This is down from its economic growth forecast in April of between negative 2% and 0.5%. Bank Negara said the economy was expected to rebound in 2021 at rates of 5.5% to 8%. According to the Department of Statistics, all components of the economy except agriculture registered negative growth. The hardest hit was construction at negative 44.5%. Private consumption fell by 18.5%, while government expenditure grew by 2.3%. The current account balance was still in surplus at 7.6 billion ringgit, down from 9.5 billion ringgit during the previous quarter.
Assalamualaikum. Today my group will present and discuss about the correlation between the political stability, the foreign direct investment and job opportunity on their impacts to the Malaysian economy. So before we go further, let me brief you the introduction on these 3 points. So, according to the World Bank, Malaysia is one of the most open economies in the world, with a trade to GDP ratio averaging over 130% since 2010. The openness to trade and investment has been instrumental in employment creation and income growth, with about 40% of jobs in Malaysia linked to exports activities. After the ASEAN financial crisis during 1997 until 1998, Malaysian economy has been on an upward trajectory, averaging growth of 5.4% since 2010, and is expected to achieve a transition from an upper middle income economy to a high income economy by 2024. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as reported in the Straits Times, Malaysian economy declined further in the fourth quarter of 2020, which is leading to a worse contraction in gross domestic product (GDP) than initially projected by the government. Moreover, Chief Yusri Mahidin from the Department of Statistics Malaysia said that Malaysia's fourth quarter GDP fell by 3.4%, bigger than the 2.7% decline in the third quarter. Hence, it showed that overall GDP shrank by 5.6%, this is the bigger contraction seen in the 1998 ASEAN financial crisis. Thus, in terms of crisis right now, it is very important for the government to ensure the political in the country is stable in order to ensure the foreign firm or company will keep investing and the foreign investment inflow increasing and also on the right track. Furthermore, looking at the current situation, many people are losing jobs due to the pandemic. So, when the government ever to have a stable policy to which it can convince the foreign investor to keep invest in Malaysia, despite the catastrophic that is happening right now, it will help to increase and open many job opportunities to people who are seeking for job. Hence, political stability is in a country plays a vital role in ensuring the economic growth and development of the country itself. However, in Malaysia, as we can see, there are many problems. There are problems with the political stability that happens due to the change of government during on early 2020. The political crisis in Malaysia, in fact, is far from over, as the country is dealing with yet another fragile coalition here. And this is not a positive or a good sign for the investor and markets. And so, with this problem happen, it will causing the foreign investor does not want to place their capital and invest as they feel not confident to do so. and indirectly it will decrease the job opportunity, especially for the fresh graduate in Malaysia.
The first point is political stability. Political stability is very important for a country. According to the World Bank, the standard definition of political instability is the propensity of a government collapse either because of conflict or rampant competition between various political parties. Also, the occurrence of the government change increase the likelihood of subsequent changes. Political instability tends to be persistent. In Malaysia, the political stability has become worse when the political fight from the moment the Pakatan Harapan government collapsed with the resignation of then Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad alongside the rise of a new government established by a new coalition called Perikatan Nasional led by Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin. Since the Perikatan Nasional government was formed, the polemic of the strength and the resilience of the PN government has become a hot topic on social media. This is because some politicians claim to have enough number to allow their party leader to be appointed prime minister. According to the economists, the current political turmoil will only disrupt the smooth process of economic recovery due to COVID-19, which has been recognized globally as of the country that has successfully addressed the impact of contagion on the economy and the people. Because of this, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin recognized that the country needs political stability. He has announced his intention to hold election once the pandemic recedes. While the political scenario is unstable, its effects have easily contaminated the economy. The economy has had a long list of problems such as the middle income trap, a large migrant labor force, and inadequate technological innovation. Other disturbing issues include the question of affordable healthcare, affordable housing, and high household debt. These troubled questions are not new. They have been plaguing the country even before the 40th general election, and there are issues that have no answer even today. With the government trying hard to combat COVID-19, the economy experienced sharper uncertainty and a lack of long-run direction. Recently, Fitch gave Malaysia a downgrade, awarding a BBB+. The reason for the downgrade was ascribed to the state of the political uncertainty and governance. It is of a consequence to note that the downgrade was mainly because of the shifting political ground and governance problem. Most countries in the region, indeed in the world, have been afflicted by the economic damage of the COVID-19 virus. Most countries have had a resort to expansionary budget. Increased government debt is almost certainly the order of the day the world over. One would have thought that the rating agency would have been convinced if Malaysia had presented a sensible roadmap to get the country out of the fiscal deficit. A firm commitment to the return to the state of the fiscal balance should have been sufficient in the normal course of events.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Ashma Hidayah binti Ahmad Bakri. My metric number is 2018263242. Today, I will discuss about foreign direct investment. First of all, what is foreign direct investment (FDI)? As we know, a foreign direct investment (FDI) is an investment made by a firm or individual in one country into business interests located in another country. Generally, FDI take place when an investor establishes foreign business operation or acquires foreign business asset in a foreign company. However, FDI are distinguished from portfolio investment in which an investor merely purchases equities of foreign-based company. For the statistic Malaysian FDI, you guys can see the draft in the slide. Now I will explain about the statistic. Total gross FDI inflow into Malaysia in 2020 was valued at 139.9 billion ringgit, increased 0.8% as compared to 2019 despite the MCO and RMCO. This is reflective of the continued high level of FDI project approved and implemented over the last few years. Malaysia's net inflow total 13.9 billion ringgit, a decline from 2019, which is 31.7 billion ringgit. Malaysian lower net FDI inflows in partly due to higher intercompany borrowings of MNCs to support their affiliates in an uncurtailed global investment landscape. Moving forward, net FDI is expected to strengthen, as reflected by the turnaround to a positive 6.1 billion ringgit in Q4 2020 after registering a negative inflow in the previous. Investment including FDI is a forward-looking activities based on investor expectation regarding future returns and the confidence that they can place the returns. Thus, by its very nature, the FDI decision required some assessment of the political future of the host country. There are two principal risks stemming from political instability in the host country that the investor face. The first is the domestic instability or civil war or conflict with neighboring countries will reduce the profitability of operating in the host country because domestic sale or export are impaired or production is disrupted or the facility is damaged or destroyed. The other consequence of political instability stems from the fact that it is likely to affect the value of the host country currency, thus reducing the value of the asset invested in the host country as well as of the future profit generated by the investment. There is growing literature of the effects of political stability economic performance, both from a theoretical perspective and in terms of empirical work. As we know, if our country has an unstable politics, investors will feel insecure to invest to our country. When FDI decrease, it will also affect job opportunities. This is said because the company will not be able to open more jobs due to the lack of investors who invest in their company. So, thank you. That's all for me.
From the Department of Statistics Malaysia, the unemployment rate in Malaysia hoped to 4.8% in February 2021 from 3.3% in the same month of a year earlier. In the midst of the extreme effect caused by the spread of COVID-19, the number of unemployed climbed 4.8% from a year earlier to 777.5 thousand, while employment declined by 0.5% to 15.27 million. Meantime, the labour force rose 1.1% to 16.05 million in January 2021. The jobless rate was at 4.9%. The decrease of foreign direct investment cannot create more new jobs. The lowest of employment rate can decrease the productivity in the country. The decrease of foreign direct investment can decrease the productivity and competitiveness. Due to the pandemic, lot of factory and premises need to close down, which is the employer need to bear a cost to employ people in the time they gain no profit. So to minimize the cost, the employer had to fire the employee. and this will make the unemployment rate increase and create no new jobs opportunities. As a developing country, foreign direct investment is crucial to boost our economy. Aligned with that, demand cheaper unskilled workers are getting higher from Vietnam, Indonesia, Cambodia and China compared to local labors. This reducing the chances of unskilled local labor to find jobs as the wages offered to foreign labor is cheaper. Even worse, foreign investors tend to invest to the neighboring countries instead of Malaysia and decelerating the growth of the Malaysian economy. This situation may shrink the job market and increase the unemployment rate as the development injected by foreign investors fund provided the huge skilled and unskilled job market.
As for the recommendation, in order to combat and overcome these impacts from happening and become worsened to the extent it could affect the Malaysian economic growth and development, it is recommended that the government must continue to implement credible economic policy as well as institutional and political reforms and also ensure fiscal discipline, political stability and institutional quality. Furthermore, according to the Executive Director of Social Economic Research Center, SERC, Lee Heng Kwe, he said that political stability is the key to macroeconomic stability and growth amid the prolonged COVID-19 pandemic and looming recession. He also urged for institutional quality to be strengthened further with wider implementation of open and competitive tenders along with fiscal transparency and stronger governance to promote accountability and fiscal responsibility. In this context, political stability is a specific kind of stability which are the rule of law, the strong institution rather than powerful individuals, an efficient bureaucracy, low corruption, and also an investment enabling business climate. Hence, it is advised that the government must promote and enhance good governance so that the government will have the free from corruption, political controversy, and become the institution that people can put trust in. And this is also to avoid the previously healthy relationship with the foreign investor deteriorated. So the government also need to maintain the outstanding policy and diplomatic relations fostered by its predecessors so that the healthy relationship with the key foreign investor will long lasting and will encourage them to invest more to the country.
So, for the conclusion, if there are political stability in our country, this will lead to increasing numbers of foreign investors, which is it will enhance the foreign direct investment in Malaysia. This is because the foreign investor will have faith to invest their money to our country by looking how the government control Malaysia, which is the citizens live happily and peace. This will make sure that their investment will bring profit to them back. The increase of foreign direct investment will create a lot of new job opportunities due to the new technologies bring into the Malaysia, and lot of foreign factory will be built in the country. This will create benefit to the local workers to find new jobs and the rate of unemployment will decrease.